Good morning. Come one, come all, gather round for the day 14 Advent calendar reveal on this very snowy morning in the Midwest. There's at least already 3 inches this morning. So it's supposed to all warm up like next week, but not after we have a little deep freeze tonight and so on. So it's probably be best sometime after this reading I get out there and get to shoveling. It's my favorite winter exercise. Right? Right, ladies? Who needs the gym? All right. What is this? Another. Is this? It's like a clip. Is this almost like a money clip? Oh my god. I just like flew onto the ground. Okay, so I'm assuming this is one of the characters from the movie. I don't know which one. Okay, it says her goddess, her goodness, yes, her goodness will protect you. Okay, so this is the day 14, and it looks like it's, so you can see it's like double-sided here, so I think it's like a little bookmark, which that's kind of nice. So the next time you're reading your wicked novel, right, you can have a super, super cool new monitoring device, yes, on your pages. Las páginas. Sí. Okay. Whew. You know, the time I was going to college, the internet was like just coming about. Like, we still had AOL, we had the chat rooms, you know. I wouldn't say online gaming had taken off yet, but we did have computer gaming where you would put, you know, the floppy disk in or whatnot and do those sorts of things. Of course, there was Nintendo and, you know, Ataris and, you know, things. We had that stuff. And I think Xbox was like starting to come onto the scene then. And some people might call those fads. Some people might call those hobbies. Sometimes your hobbies shift over time, right? So let's see what we have here before I get back to my not quite favorite hobby, so I'll have to call it a chore, but it is, does a body good, right? As long as you're taking care of your bod while you're doing it. Okay, yeah, so. Strenuous activity. Monitor yourself, right? Nobody wants to end up in the ER. They were literally talking about that on the like the daytime news or whatnot, you know, reminding folks, you know, come in for breaks occasionally and things of that nature, especially if you are going to be shoveling snow or any outdoor cold weather activity. Okay. We have the medicine mother. So yeah, doing a body good. What were we just talking about? Let's see here. It says, honor your inner knowing. Okay. So remember that said her goodness will protect you. So surrounding yourself with goodness, with good medicine, right? What does that do for your body? Does that mother your body? Does that, you know, when they say to parent yourself, okay? Getting in touch with your inner child. Hello in the chat today. Remember, please do like the video if you're in the chat. You do not have to be a subscriber in order to like the video, but it does help pass the messages around. And if you choose to become a subscriber, it will show up in your YouTube feed. Okay. And then if you choose, you can get notified. I think in order to hit the notification bell, you have to actually be a subscriber. So if you want the notification to actually come to your phone, then you need to hit the subscribe button, I believe. I don't think you can hit notify without being a subscriber. Somebody out there could try it. I don't know. They retool these things all the time. So, and like you might see me, I've been posting more shorts lately. So if you only have time to watch a short, please do go to the shorts tab. There are several. And then if you are resonating with that part of the message, I have linked the original video where it comes from. So if you would like to go back to that video to see the rest of the message, you can. But YouTube's made it easier for creators to make shorts from our own content. Because, not all of us have moderators and assistants and teams of people coming up with ideas even to put out one single video, right? Some of us are just sole creators here, just very, very much like sole proprietors in business, right? And one thing your mother has probably told you, look, I can only do one thing at a time. I know it looks like I have it all together, but we're only actually doing, like they say, can you multitask? Well, that's really a fallacy. What they want to know is, can you switch between tasks, right? Are you somebody who's mutable? Are you a mutable sign? Sagittarius, we're in the season of Sagittarius right now. Sagittarius, temperance, 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on the ground. Holding the water and the fire. Yes. Meeting in the middle, figuring it out along the way. Okay. Some folks, though, they're like Capricorn's more fixed. They're like, they're like, no, I prefer doing this job and I don't want to do that other job too. So, well, maybe they're not the type to have a multitask job. Maybe they just need one task, right? But if you think about that, anyway, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but the spirit fox, okay, it's like walking and chewing gum. Some folks can't handle that, right? Trust your talents in changing times. Think about it. Those old vaudevillians or the silent movie stars, right? They had to adapt and change. Their medium changed, so then they had to change. COVID put a lot of people online that weren't necessarily online before. Yes, did I have my personal and music Facebook profiles on, for Facebook, blah, blah, but I wasn't like out there on YouTube like I am now. I didn't have my music uploaded to, all the streaming platforms like I do now. Because, that stuff's going to travel its own route, right? But I can't be there to monitor it 24/7, right? So it's kind of one of those things. It's like instead of having a physical store where all your products are located, you have a virtual store, right? It's the new, social media is the new, having your own personal website. When I was in college, I learned how to code. I learned like HTML where I could design my own website. Okay, I'm talking about from a DOS prompt. Okay. For people coming, I don't know how. Yeah, I actually do. Anyway, not using Microsoft Publisher. Give me a break. Come on now. Go away. Fly, monkey, fly. Set that monkey free. Okay. So, the thing is, like, especially when people talk about AI and the AI tools and they want to get people to use AI to be creative or whatever. And it's like, well, look, what I'm already doing is going to help me with my business, fine. Very much like these YouTube shorts. Like, some people might just call that software development. Other people want to slap the AI label on it. Well, I mean, technically, yes, it's, automated and artificial because, there's not maybe somebody manning the wheel, right? 100% of the time. Just like a virtual website hosted is not manned 100% of the time. Now you could be like, well, but yeah, there's the virus software and the. Okay, and that's why a lot of creators choose to use free platforms like YouTube or Facebook or whatnot, because there is the advertising revenue that they make off of us. So we expect them to be the security broker, right? Not the content owner, right? Anyway, without getting too deep into it, but the point being here that your skills of yesterday doesn't mean you can't do those skills tomorrow. And I was thinking very, very much about like somebody who knows how to like knit. Okay, that is one of those things I tried doing that when I was a kid. I was like in third or fourth grade or something, and by like half an hour into it, I was in tears. I was like apparently knitting 2 rows at a time, and it was just very confusing. I just didn't like it. So I decided that was not the hobby for me. Okay. But somebody who knows how to do that, right? Maybe their hands don't work doing that very well. Or maybe they know how to crochet really well, right? Um, Things of that nature, right? Say if their hands get arthritic or something, well, what's going to happen, right? Maybe they can't knit or, sew or whatever as much. But what they can do? They could possibly use AI, right? Like the whole talk to text thing. Okay. And then they could, write down, like, well, this is how you knit. They could, like, author a book on how to knit. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, AI isn't the devil, nor is software development, but people want to put fancy labels on things. You know, that's just my 2 cents about it, I guess. And I just want people not to lose hope either, because especially the time when I graduated college, we were at the end of like the dot-com bubble. And just with the hype around AI these days, to me, it's another tool that people are going to have to learn how to use. And they had this old commercial in the 80s. I've said it before on this channel. And it said, the computers are not going to run the future, but it's the people behind the computers, right? Because they've already shown now, like, chat gp goes into a circle if you ask them this and this. Well, that's because the large language models have only been modeled after certain content. So of course you're going to have a certain point of view, just the same as this professor at that university is going to have a certain point of view based on their learned experiences. It is up to us to go out there and make the discovery. That's why I like this platform so much. Although I am not going to say it doesn't have, some questionable aspects because of like all the harassment that I've reported. I've reported D threats made against me, violence against me. I've reported all these things, and I've never gotten any reports back from from the parent company. Same with Meta. I've reported things, profiles, people's harassing comments, and I'm talking about like bad stuff. Okay. And I've never heard back. All right. So, just remember that as well, because, a lot of folks want you to get all caught up on the new thing, right? Well, again, what is your talent? Does your actual talent change because the new thing came into town? Or is it just a way of showcasing your talent? All right. So speak kindly unto yourself as you navigate that part of life, because that part of life happens to everyone. We all go through historical changes. Okay. And how we navigate them is really up to us. Mountains. Look at that. Quite nice. And you see the reflection on the water. And it says here, stand your ground. So yeah, standing on your talents, like, You could be like, well, yeah, I am a plumber, as a matter of fact, and I have a lot of experience, but yeah, my back hurts now and I can't get up and down, this, that, and the other, but, I can sure coach the other guys on the job how to do it, right? Trust your talents in changing times. Last time I checked, people still need plumbing. And I don't, you can live in a trailer, you can live in a stone mansion. You still need plumbing. Okay? Just, like the movie Moonstruck, and he's having his like second, wind at life because, he's facing his later years, and he's the plumber, but he's made a good living at it, right? That itself did not change over time, did it? Okay. This is interesting reading this morning. All right, I'm liking it. What else is coming out? The sage. Look at that. You might be using sage as well. Be devoted and committed. Okay, so using sage or an incense, it might also help you get into that mode, okay, of seeking the wisdom of the sage. Okay, again, the fire sign energy. Seer. Okay, see beyond the current situation. Okay, so very interesting as we're watching a reading here. Yeah, walking by faith, not by sight. So if if you're not in the religious community, if you've never stepped into a church before, you might not, have heard that very much. But it's just something that we have to do, right? Oh my gosh, I was shuffling. This was on the bottom of the deck. I shuffled and then this came out. See your seeds grow, spring. Okay. So yes, we are in the winter season, but it's never a bad time to start preparing, is it? And your path here, your direction for that is guarded. Okay. It's kind of making me think about, like, I have all this to shovel, and I saw one of the delivery trucks come through, and I hadn't shoveled yet, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like, I hope that's not coming to my house. But I don't think it was, it wasn't. But, then I was like, oh, I'm kind of relieved that I kind of got some of that done already earlier in the year. You know what I mean? So, because I knew it was like, thinking about when holiday season coming up. So, being a step ahead is not being out of step. Okay. So, yes, you can stand your ground, right? You could be a fixed sign, even, right? Standing your ground. But that doesn't mean you don't know how to navigate what's around you, right? Okay. So, because even the mountain changes with the seasons, right? Sometimes there's green on the mountain, sometimes there's, all right, flowing water on the mountain, right? Okay. Sometimes there's animals on the mountain. Sometimes there's people on the mountain. I've seen one too many mountaineering stories to make me never want to go mountaineering. But, I saw that movie Auntie Mame, and I saw what happened to her one husband, so you know what I'm saying. And that was way before people taking these dangerous selfies. He had the camera, and he's like, back up, and she's like, huh? And she almost like fell off the back. People was trying to get the perfect shot, like, again, your talents in changing times. Okay, so people want to blame cell phones. Well, you see these people taking all these. Oh, okay, because we haven't had cameras for a while, watching people do dumb shit. We haven't had video cameras for a while, watching people do dumb shit. Oh yeah, well yeah, they've always been doing that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. It's a mental game for some folks. They think they can outsmart the system. Okay. But the seer might be here saying, just because you're getting away with it, right? Because see, that's the thing. You can get away with it how many times? 99 times. But what about 100? Are you willing to take that chance? Are you really that confident now? If you're doing something that you know better than to do? Really? So prepare yourself, right? So if you're not doing things that are dubious, right? Your seeds are going to grow come spring, right? And then you're going to be back in that cycle of life again, okay? Where you are treating yourself, okay? Here with this medicine mother energy, okay? So again, this spiritual, he is so cute, is he not? And he has his little feathers, you know. He might have been eating those, you know. You never know. Foxes can get pretty big, actually. But it wasn't too long ago I saw one in my neighborhood, and the dog was going bananas. I was trying to get a picture of it, again, but I didn't have the camera handy, you know. So, again, people taking photographs of things that have, like, this is not a new phenomenon. What is maybe new is that people are paying attention to other people's photographs on a more widespread network that we did not have before, right? The interconnectedness, right? But we also have to realize that only exists on a certain playing field as well. And if you're on that playing field, you're likely probably a pretty privileged person, right? If you have access to the internet on a regular basis, that means you have a phone. That means you probably have a roof over your head. You know what I mean? Anyway, folks like to complain about not having this or that, and it's like, well, why don't you try and get some reception over in bumfuck wherever the fuck ever? And get back to me on that. Oh, wise one. Oh, you don't need to go. You don't need to go to find that out. Well, you might find out. Right? And somebody could be like, oh, no, I don't want to see. Yeah, exactly. Because they're blinding themselves. This is so weird how this card's coming across right now, because I don't think that was the original intention. And it's like somebody was trying to say that they could see everything and they cannot. They wanted to say they're the orchestrator, and they're realizing no. They're realizing no, they got a lot to learn. Right? And the thing is, the sage understands that. That's why the sage is the sage, because they spend their time learning. They spend their time studying. They don't spend their time going around running their mouth. You know what I mean? Like, pick a hobby. Okay? So, back to that bookmark token that came out of the Advent calendar, right? Some people be like, well, you don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. And it's like, says who? saw somebody the other day talking about folks were kind of complaining about them being busy and stuff, and I thought, well, I'd rather be busy than bored myself. But maybe those people are the ones that are too busy if they're intruding on that person's time. You know what I mean? You always got that person trying to stop you for a minute, right when you're in the middle of something, and it's like, can't you see I'm trying to do something here? And again, that's this, seeing beyond the current situation. Just because somebody else blinded themselves don't mean you gotta be blind. What sense would that make? That's why they say the blind leading the blind. Don't make no sense. People say it all the time. Kind of like some of these videos I'm watching, on YouTube, and I maybe has gotten worse. I haven't been in college for many years, but when again, back to my college days, yeah, there were folks there that it was very obvious that they were lucky to be doing anything at that academic level. Okay. So the way they got in, do you know what I'm saying? And they were just checking a box to be there. Right? Which you have to have some of that to pay for the place, right? Kind of how society works, right? But thinking then you or somebody else also fits into that category is very short-sighted. So again, seeing beyond, right? And there's folks, I'm saying that maybe they, there's people who grow up in, Chicago and have never been to one of them nice steakhouses in Chicago and gotten a nice steak there. Dressed up and was, got taken out to dinner or went out to celebrate with your friends, whatever. There's people who have never. And it's beyond their comprehension to even do that because they've been so blinded with the current situation, thinking that they must fit in this space. You can fit anywhere you want to go fit. That's up to you. Okay. So if you're like, yeah, but I want to fit right where I'm at, that's fine, right? But just like the cat, if it sits, it fits. Okay. So there could have been somebody also trying to get you to move in some way, get you to hurry up. I'm getting, especially with the bookmark coming out, like that's more of a slow down time. That's, I'm sitting here and I'm reading this book right now. What do you want? What do you mean? What do you want? A refrigerator is full of stuff. Okay. You want a pizza? Go dig into your allowance or sell one of your 25 pairs of fucking sneakers that they don't have over there in, Bangladesh. Right. Quality of life, right? Not trying to depress anybody on Saturday. Just trying to offer a little perspective. And, sometimes the sages are in the mountains as well, right? Communing with nature. That might be very important for somebody. You can still commune with nature even in the wintertime. I find it very peaceful out there when I'm shoveling snow, to be honest. It's quiet. Not usually a lot of people outside. The snow, dampens the sound out there, right? Okay. So I feel like this veil is going to be lifting come springtime, okay? So especially if you are on the path to healing, this medicine mother and spring may be very significant for you. I just got my flu shot and COVID shot the other day, so my arm's a little sore, but I think more shoveling will help, you know, I mean, keep that blood flow moving. Alrighty then. I think that is all I have for you guys today. We're right at 30 minutes. Perfect. Remember to like the video. Again, until next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye bye.